In Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking by Mehdi Hasan, Chapter 1 focuses on the essential skills needed to win over an audience. The author emphasizes that in order to be successful in public speaking or debating, one must understand the needs and desires of their audience. Hasan argues that the first step in winning over an audience is to establish a connection with them. This can be achieved by establishing eye contact, using personal anecdotes, or even using humor. He cautions against using pre-rehearsed speeches or cliches as they can come across as insincere and may alienate the audience. The author also stresses the importance of understanding the audience's perspective. One must take into account the demographics of the audience, including their age, gender, religion, and culture, in order to tailor their message accordingly. Hasan advises speakers to avoid language that may offend or exclude certain groups, as this can cause them to disengage from the message. Another crucial aspect of winning over an audience is to build trust. The author notes that this can be achieved by demonstrating expertise on the topic, citing credible sources, and using statistics to support arguments. He also suggests that speakers should acknowledge the limitations of their own knowledge and be willing to concede points when necessary. Hasan also highlights the importance of emotional appeal in persuading an audience. He argues that appealing to the audience's emotions can be a powerful tool in winning them over, but cautions against using emotional manipulation or exploiting fear. Instead, speakers should use stories or examples that elicit empathy or inspire hope. In conclusion, Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking emphasizes the importance of understanding and connecting with an audience in order to be successful in public speaking and debating. By establishing a connection, understanding the audience's perspective, building trust, and using emotional appeal, speakers can effectively win over their audience and achieve their goals. Chapter 2 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking by Mehdi Hasan focuses on the role of emotions in persuasion. The author argues that while facts and logic are important in making an argument, emotions are often the driving force behind a person's beliefs and actions. Hasan starts the chapter by emphasizing the importance of understanding the emotional landscape of an audience. He notes that people are often motivated by a variety of emotions, including fear, anger, hope, and empathy. Understanding which emotions are most relevant to the audience can help a speaker to craft a persuasive message that resonates with them. The author goes on to discuss the role of storytelling in emotional persuasion. He notes that stories can be a powerful tool in appealing to people's emotions, as they provide a context for the facts and can help to create a sense of empathy with the speaker. Hasan advises speakers to use anecdotes, personal stories, and examples to illustrate their points and to make their arguments more relatable to the audience. Hasan also discusses the use of rhetorical devices in emotional persuasion. He notes that devices such as repetition, alliteration, and rhetorical questions can be used to create a sense of emotional intensity and to make the message more memorable to the audience. However, the author cautions against using emotional manipulation or exploiting people's fears and anxieties. He notes that while emotional persuasion can be effective, it should not be used to deceive or mislead an audience. Speakers should be honest and transparent in their use of emotional appeals, and should always back up their arguments with facts and evidence. In conclusion, Chapter 2 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking highlights the importance of emotions in persuasion. By understanding the emotional landscape of an audience, using storytelling and rhetorical devices, and being honest and transparent in their use of emotional appeals, speakers can effectively persuade their audience and achieve their goals. In Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking by Mehdi Hasan, Chapter 3 focuses on the importance of evidence in making a persuasive argument. The author argues that in order to be effective in persuasion, it is essential to show receipts, that is, to provide evidence to support one's claims. Hasan starts the chapter by noting that people are often skeptical of claims made without evidence. In order to overcome this skepticism and build trust with the audience, speakers must provide credible evidence to back up their arguments. The author advises speakers to use a variety of sources, including academic research, government data, and expert opinions, in order to provide a well-rounded and convincing argument. The author also emphasizes the importance of using evidence that is relevant and up-to-date. Outdated or irrelevant evidence can undermine the credibility of the argument and cause the audience to disengage. Hasan advises speakers to use the most recent and relevant evidence available in order to make a compelling case. In addition, the author discusses the importance of anticipating counter-arguments and addressing them with evidence. This not only strengthens the overall argument but also shows the audience that the speaker has considered other perspectives and is open to different viewpoints. Hasan notes that it is important to address counter-arguments honestly and thoroughly, and to use evidence to refute them rather than relying solely on rhetoric or personal attacks. Hasan also notes that the way evidence is presented is crucial to its effectiveness. He advises speakers to present evidence in a clear and concise manner, using charts, graphs, and other visual aids to make the argument more accessible and understandable to the audience. Additionally, he stresses the importance of providing context for the evidence, such as explaining the methodology used to gather the data or providing historical background on the issue. In conclusion, Chapter 3 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking highlights the importance of evidence in making a persuasive argument. By using credible and relevant sources, anticipating and addressing counter-arguments, and presenting evidence in a clear and concise manner, speakers can effectively win over their audience and achieve their goals. Chapter 4 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking by Mehdi Hasan explores the balance between attacking the argument and attacking the person making the argument. The author argues that it is important to both play the ball, that is, address the argument itself, and play the man, address the person making the argument, in order to effectively persuade an audience. Hasan starts the chapter by discussing the different ways in which a person's character and actions can impact their arguments. He notes that a person's motives, biases, and past actions can all influence how their arguments are perceived. Therefore, it is important to address not only the argument itself but also the person making the argument in order to build trust with the audience. However, the author cautions against ad hominem attacks, or attacks on a person's character rather than their argument. He notes that ad hominem attacks are often ineffective and can cause the audience to disengage from the argument. Instead, Hasan advises speakers to focus on the argument itself, while also acknowledging and addressing any relevant personal factors that may impact the argument. Hasan also discusses the importance of using evidence and logic to back up attacks on a person's character or actions. Rather than making baseless accusations or resorting to personal attacks, speakers should use evidence and logic to support their claims about a person's character or actions. The author also emphasizes the importance of remaining calm and collected when addressing personal factors in an argument. It is important to avoid becoming defensive or aggressive, as this can undermine the credibility of the argument and cause the audience to disengage. In conclusion, Chapter 4 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking highlights the importance of both playing the ball and playing the man in persuasion. By addressing both the argument itself and the person making the argument, and by using evidence and logic to support any personal attacks, speakers can effectively build trust with the audience and achieve their goals. Chapter 5 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking by Mehdi Hasan focuses on the importance of active listening and effective communication. The author argues that in order to persuade others, it is essential to listen to their perspectives and respond thoughtfully, rather than simply talking at them. Hasan begins the chapter by discussing the common tendency for people to speak more than they listen in conversations. He notes that this can lead to misunderstandings and prevent effective communication. The author emphasizes the importance of actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspective, and responding thoughtfully. The author also highlights the importance of nonverbal communication, such as body language and tone of voice, in active listening. Effective communication requires not only listening to the words being spoken but also paying attention to the speaker's nonverbal cues. Hasan notes that being present in the moment and focusing on the conversation can help improve active listening skills. Additionally, Hasan discusses the importance of empathy and active listening. By putting oneself in the other person's shoes and considering their perspective, one can better understand their point of view and respond in a way that is respectful and thoughtful. This not only helps build trust with the other person but also leads to more productive and effective communication. The author also addresses the issue of confirmation bias, which can prevent people from truly listening to other perspectives. Hasan advises speakers to actively seek out differing viewpoints and challenge their own assumptions in order to broaden their understanding and improve their ability to persuade others. In conclusion, Chapter 5 of Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading, and Public Speaking highlights the importance of active listening in effective communication. By focusing on listening, paying attention to nonverbal cues, practicing empathy, and challenging one's own biases, speakers can build trust with their audience and achieve their persuasive